We're here with Jeffrey Sass, Vice President and Chief Evangelist of Myxer, straight off the stage from IAB Mobile Marketplace. He was just there moderating a panel with 4 agency executives. In part, his ulterior motive was to learn more ways that he as a publisher can better meet their needs. And I'm wondering what you learned and what you came away with.
Yeah, so I had a selfish mode for moderating that panel since Myxer is a publisher. And I think it was very interesting to understand the focus on the smartphones that the buyers had, and really the importance of rich media to them and things like that. So it's really good for us as a publisher to know that as we develop further our inventory. So my goal was to have a panel that would get inside the heads of the buyers, so that if Myxer's sales team was watching that panel, they'd be able to do a better job of effectively selling to those buyers.
Did anyone say anything that surprised you that you really weren't expecting to hear?
I think the surprising thing again is the extreme focus from their point of view on the smartphone market. There was little discussion, and had I had more time, I would have prompted to dig in a little bit deeper into, well, what about the 60% of people who don't have a smartphone? What about the feature phones? What about messaging and SMS? How valuable, how important is that? We didn't have a chance to get into that, and part of that was because their focus seemed to be very heavily on working to take advantage of the capabilities of the smartphone.
Did you get a sense at all of specific things publishers and technology providers need to do in order to gain more of the budget from these agencies?
Yeah, I think one of the interesting points that there was Paul Gelb who mentioned was that it's really important for the sellers to be better educated and to be good at what they're doing. And it sounded to me, which was interesting, that the buyers, at least those on this panel, really valued mobile knowledge. They value education. They want the people selling to them to really understand deeply and be passionate about mobile, about the advantages. It's not just coming in and knocking on their door and selling another digital, opportunity. It's coming in and selling mobile in a very unique way that leverages all the interesting things that are different about mobile, whether that's the different devices, or whether that's the context, or whether that's the fact, as we talked about on the panel, that it's such a personal device that it's almost like your lover. People are in love with their phones. So that's a different relationship than with other media.
One thing in relation to that education, they talked about ad networks having better salespeople sometimes than the single entity publishers. I'm wondering, what's your relationship with ad networks and how you see that evolving in the future?
Yeah, it's interesting, and that was an interesting point. I mean, reading between the lines, I think they were saying that the salespeople at the ad networks are doing a better job potentially than the salespeople at some publishers. I mean, Myxer is a very large publisher. We're one of the top 10 mobile websites in the U.S., so we have a very large mobile audience, and so the ad networks are important partners to us, and we're very important partners to them. We contribute a significant portion of the audience that makes up their reach. So on the one hand, we're very good partners with the ad networks, and on the other hand, we have our own direct sales team, and it's very important for us to be able to deal directly with agencies and brands, because we can do a lot more and do some more creative campaigns and leverage some inventory that the ad networks wouldn't be able to work with.
Really sort of fit more into the brand storytelling, the personalized executions.
There's different things we can do. On the other hand, the ad networks still remain an important partner of ours, and I believe we're an important partner of them because we reach so much of the mobile audience in the U.S.
One of Myxer's, tell me if I'm wrong, main demographics are digital natives. I'm wondering what you've learned about how to reach digital natives in the mobile environment.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Our audience is definitely largely, 18 to 24, and goes a little bit older too, 18 to 34. With smartphones, it's even growing at both the low end and the high end. But I think it's important for things to work and to be simple. They don't want it to be complicated. It needs to be frictionless and easy. And one of the things that's helped Myxer, from day one, is we've always had a service that was free, first of all, and people in that age demographic like things to be free. Secondly, it's very easy to use, and it doesn't matter what kind of phone you have or what carrier you have. So the consumer doesn't have to think too hard. They just have to go there, find a piece of content they want, and boom, they get it. So it has to be simple and easy and seamless across different devices too. Especially now as people change devices more frequently, they want to know that the places they go for their mobile content are going to still work for them, even though they have a different phone than they had a few weeks ago.
Right. Well, device fragmentation is a real issue for most brands. You've been in the mobile industry since 1998, which is about a lifetime in this industry.
Not as long as some of our millennial customers.
What is something that has stayed the same throughout the last 13 or so years that brands and other publishers in the industry can look to as sort of something that, is predictable?
Well, Willow, that's a great question, and it came out a little bit in the panel. Simon Bond touched on it. I think it's not about the technology. As cool as mobile technology is, it hasn't been about the technology. There was cool mobile technology 10 years ago. The problem was no one cared. No one used it. So I think underlying all the growth we're seeing today, and we talked about it on the panel, is the change in consumer behavior. What's changed now is behavior has changed. People are relying on their mobile device as an intimate part of their daily day, from the moment they wake up in the morning till the moment they go in the night. People are more comfortable now, largely thanks to the iPhone and what it did for mobile browsing. People are more comfortable using their mobile browser. They're more comfortable looking at that phone as a device that can do many more things. So the behavior and the change in the behavior has always been the most important thing, not cool technology. There's always been cool technology. It's only recently that the masses are willing to use that cool technology.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not so much just the technology being available, it's the adoption of that technology. Absolutely. You're an adjunct professor, I understand, at the University of San Francisco, and I'm wondering what you're teaching kids today to be, great mobile marketing executives and really help form the industry.
Yeah, so the class I teach is part of their advanced mobile marketing program. So it's not just kids. I mean, it's students of all ages who are very interested in getting knowledge and getting schooled, so to speak, in mobile. Some of them are even business people who recognize that it's important for their business, either as an advertiser or as a business, to understand what's going on in mobile. It's a lot of fun and it's exciting. And I say this to the students all the time: is you're in an industry, the mobile industry, where literally every single week there's news breaking. Every single week there's something new, something that develops. The numbers are growing so fast that, as an online class, some of the lessons are live and some are recorded. And you look back at the recorded lessons, and even from a few months ago, so much has changed. So part of the fun of the ongoing class is really keeping everyone up to speed on new developments, new technologies. NFC all of a sudden is all over the place. A year ago, NFC was a technology that very few people even heard of. So it's very challenging, but also exciting to work with the students to stay current.
And the last question is something I'm asking a lot of people here today. Obviously, as we just talked about, the mobile marketplace is evolving so quickly it's hard to keep up with. What is one way you'd like to see the marketplace evolve that would make your work life easier?
Well, I think it would be great if agencies and brands and marketers of all type just acknowledge and accept the fact that mobile has to be part of their marketing efforts. It has to be part of an overall integrated marketing campaign. It's not something that you could think about and say, yeah, maybe we'll look into that next year, or maybe we'll do a little bit of testing here. I mean, there are many advantages because of the personal nature of it, because of the contextual nature of it that we talked about. There are so many advantages to create a really deep, long-term, engaging experience with your customers in mobile, that why would you not take it seriously? Why would you not think of that as a core part of your marketing efforts? One of the things I like to say when I'm with a group of people is, no matter what business you're in, you could be a dentist, you could be, a home decorator. It doesn't matter what your profession is. Literally 100% of your customers have a mobile phone. They carry it with them almost all of their waking hours. So why wouldn't you want to be reaching them with your marketing messages on that very personal device?
Great. Thank you very much.
Experience